problem, in order to use the zero product property, one side of your equation needs to be what? Zero. So that's our first objective. How can I make the right-hand side of this equation zero? Christian?
By subtracting 2x and subtracting 7.
You're so good. Subtract 2x and subtract 7 from both sides. So let's start with the 2x, minus 2x. We subtract 2x. Why does 2x go underneath 14x? Christian?
The exponent. Because like the 16x, it has an exponent of 2.
Okay. Very good. It has an exponent of 1. Very good. So we subtract them. Christian, what do we get?
You get 16x squared minus 16x and like nothing else, the 7, negative 7.
Well, we're going to keep plus 7 for now. I'm going to take it one step at a time. Equals, and then what? 7. Then you said subtract 7, correct? What happens here, guys?
They both cancel out.
They both cancel out. So check it out. We have 16x squared minus 16x equals 0. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, at the beginning of this problem, have we ever seen a problem like that? No. But have we seen a problem like this? Yes. Who remembers what I need to do now?
I need to factor it out.
Need to factor it out. GCF. What is the greatest common factor between 16x squared and negative 16x? It's not 8. It's not 16.
2.
1.
13.
It's 16x. So, they both have an x. Do you guys agree? And at least one of them. So pull out a 16x. What is inside the parentheses? X minus 1. And we're setting that equal to?
0.
0.
Oh,
I see some people having light bulb moments.
I didn't know you had to do that when you did this.
Guys, this was on the homework. This was in the notes. Okay, so check it out. Hold on. Yes, I know you guys know 16x equals 0, x minus 1 equals 0. But why? Why am I able to do that? I factored it out. But why? Why do I know that 16x must be equal to 0 and x minus 1 must be equal to 0? We need to know why. Very good. What does the zero product property say? If we're do you guys agree that 16x is being multiplied by x minus 1? You guys all agree that that's multiplication? If I'm multiplying and I get 0, what does one of the numbers have to be? 0. So that's why I'm able to set each of these equal to 0, because one of them has to be 0. Do you guys agree? So 16x equals 0, and x minus 1 equals? No, 0. Now we solve them. How do you solve 16x equals 0? Divide by 16. What's 0 divided by 16?
0.
So x is 0. Because the 16s will cancel. And over here, add 1 to both sides. So x equals 1. That's how you get your answers of 1 and 0. Who actually got this one right before I went over it? Occur. So, today starts the most important 4 lessons of algebra. Are you ready? Factoring. So, what have we done before? What was that F word that we used before? Foil. So the opposite, yeah, that came out wrong. Okay, the opposite of FOIL is factoring. So guess what? We're going to be starting with trinomials that look like this, where it's x squared plus bx plus c. And we have to factor to figure out what the two binomials are that multiply to give me this trinomial. Okay? Now, it's very easy once you notice the pattern. But guys, there are 3 steps that we have to follow, okay? I wrote out the 3 steps below. You have to identify what your A is, what your B is, and what your C is. You have to write out the factor operations and then factor the trinomial into the product of 2 binomials. Some of you are already shaking your heads like, what does any of this mean? That means you have the wrong mindset, okay? I know these are complicated words, okay? And they seem like they're complicated steps, but you haven't even seen me do an example, so keep an open mind. Are you guys ready? Growth mindset. Thank you, AJ. Okay. So, take a look at the first example, okay? We are going to start where our B and our C values are both positive, okay? So, they are going to give you a trinomial that looks like this. X squared plus 10x plus 16. Your A value is the number in front of x squared. What number is in front of x squared? 1. Fill that in there. So my A is equal to 1. Your B value is in front of the x with an exponent of 1. Okay? What is the B value? 10. And your C value does not have what?
Exponent.
It's a variable. Very good. The C value does not have a variable. What's my C value in this case? 16. So once you identify your A, B, and your C, you're done with step number 1. Step number 2 involves writing down something called the sum and the product. So you're going to draw 2 blanks, and you're going to add them together, and draw 2 blanks, and you're going to multiply them together. Now, when you add those 2 numbers together, you will get your B value, which we agreed our B value was what? 10. So underline the 10. Now, when you multiply those 2 numbers, we don't know what numbers they are yet, you should get your C value. And we agreed that our C value was what? 16. Hence, sum and product, okay? Sum means what operation? Addition. And product means? Multiplication. Are we cool with this? Yes.
Why do we have to do this?
Why do you have to do this? You'll see in a second, okay? So, we need to come up with 2 numbers that add to give me 10 and also multiply to give me 16. Now, keep in mind, these 2 numbers, they can be different from one another, but they have to be the same when we're adding and multiplying them. Yes?
8 and 2.
Very good. 8 plus 2 gives you what?
10.
And what's 8 times 2?
10.
16. These are the only 2 numbers that satisfy this expression. So now, watch. When you factor your binomials, you get x plus some number and x plus some number. Guess what numbers go in there? 8 and 2. Now,
I don't know when to write it, or does it matter which way you write it?
you don't, the order does not matter. Very good question, Mia. Okay? Hey. Let's say you factored this guy and you're like, I'm not really sure that this is the right factors. What could we do? FOIL it. Let's do it. Write it down below. You're going to write x plus 8. And what was the other one?
X plus 8 and 2.
X plus 2. FOIL it. How do I FOIL? Someone walk me through the FOIL process.
X times X.
Gives you?
X to the second.
Okay.
8 times 2. 16x.
No.
Sorry, 16.
Okay.
8 times x is 8x.
Plus x to the second. That gives you
Wait, what?
x to the second.
Whoa. X to the second? What's x times 2, guys?
No,
2x. Okay.
I was doing
Keep going.
Now you do 8x plus 2x will give you 2.
Very good.
Now you put it in standard form, will give you x to the second plus 10x plus 16. Copy it off your data guys.
Pause.
Boom.
Where did this appear before in this problem?
Why does this work? Like, how
Where did this appear before in the problem?
That was the question.
That was the question. So do you agree that we just did the opposite of foiling?
Yes.
Okay? So this is how, and guys, I'm going to tell you this. Do you have to check by foiling every single time? No. But for the complicated ones that you're not like 100% positive on, should you foil them and make sure you got the right thing? Yes. Not a maybe. Yes. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, Caitlin. So that's a very good question. Hey, did you guys hear the question? Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. It said, Caitlin said, are every single question going to start off with x squared? Yes. Your A value for this lesson will be 1 the entire time. Now, Monday's lesson, A values are not going to be 1. So you have to know the difference in the methods, okay? But today we're only focusing on one. A is 1, okay? All right, let's do one more example. Can we clap it up for David? Sure. Okay, let's check out B. What do I do first? Natalie,
No, I have a question first.
answer my question first, and then I'll answer yours.
You have to find out the A, B, and C.
Thank you. What is A?
A is 1.
What is B, Natalie?
7.
C?
6.
Very good. What's your question?
Like, wait, why do we have to do this in like the first place? What do we have to find? Like,
We are factoring this trinomial.
okay.
So let me ask you a question, Natalie. If I said that this was equal to 0, would you know how to solve it? No.
Okay.
That's what we're learning, okay? But we have to start just by factoring in the beginning, okay? So that's the purpose of this. Can you see the connection now a little bit, maybe? A little bit. Okay. So what do I do next?
I don't know how to do
Sum, good. That means add, correct? And product. When I add them, what are they going to be equal to?
7.
When I multiply them, what are they going to be equal to? 6. Now, people, if you are struggling with coming up with the values that add to 7 and multiply to 6, listen carefully. You're going to take the C value and write all of the factors down. What are the factors of 6?
6 and 1.
2 and 3. And what?
6 and
1 and 6. Now, write these down because if I added 2 and 3 together, what would I get? 5. Does that match the 7? No, so don't use that one. But if I added 1 and 6 together, what do I get?
7.
I found my match. So my factors here need to be what? 1 and 6.
Oh yeah. Now it's time to foil you.
Hold on, we don't foil yet. What are my two binomials?
1 and 6.
That's not a binomial. X plus 1 and x plus 6. This is your answer because this is in factored form. If I wasn't 100% confident, what could I do to check my answer? Foil it. Very good.
Wait, so
Go ahead, Caitlin.
X plus 1 and x plus 6 is our answer.
Yes, this is factored. Yes.
Where did you get the equals 7 and equals 6 from?
Where did the 7 and the 6 come from, guys? AJ.
The B and the C value.
The B is always going to be the addition, and the C will always be the multiplication.
That's lit.
That's lit? All right, can we try one more?
But Jurko, when I foil, I got the same thing.
I love you, David. All right. Wait, who had a question? We're good? Okay. Look at C. Look at C. Look at C. Look at C.
I know.
What do I do first?
Write down the A, B, and C.
What do I do first? Kaden, what do I do first? A equals B equals C equals... Christian, what's A?
A is 1,
What's B?
9,
What's C?
8.
All right. McCarvin, what do I do next?
You do the sum for the sum is supposed to equal to 9.
Very good.
And then you do the product, it's supposed to equal to 8.
You're so good. Okay. Guys, if I can't figure it out, what do I break down with its factors? The 9 or the 8? The 8, the C. Very good. So break down 8. 8 has factors. What's the lowest factor? 1 and 8, right? What is another factor? 4 and 2. Are there any other factors? No. What's 4 plus 2? 6. Is that going to work with this one? No. What about 1 plus 8? Bingo. I found my match. So I put 1 here. I put 8 here. I put 1 here. I put 8 here. It works. What is my final answer?
X plus 1.
Parentheses X equals, wait, no, X plus 1, parentheses X plus 8.
Oh my God.
We're good. We're good. Any questions? Okay, do D. Go. Okay, answers on the board. It's X plus 1 and X plus 10. Check in your group. Make sure you're all on the same page. Go. All right, guys. You ready to spice things up? Hey, check it out. So these next examples is when B is negative and C is
I
positive.
ain't ready for all that yet.
Yeah, you are. Okay. What do I, guys, same exact process. What do I do first?
You know you got
ABC.
A, B, C. What's my A?
one.
What's my B?
-8.
Thank you, Mia. It is -8. And C? 12. Hey, 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 hey. B is negative. Do you guys see that? Let's see how that affects our problem. What do I do next? Sum, so I add them together. And
Product.
product, okay? So we multiply them. What is the sum going to be?
The sum is going to be -8.
-8. And what is the product going to be? 12. I have a question for you. If two numbers are being multiplied and they give you a positive number, now they should both be negative. Why?
Because to get a negative, you have to add 2 negatives.
Very good. Would two positive numbers added together give you a negative result? No. So right off the bat, I know both of my factors need to be negative. So I'm throwing a negative sign on all of my factors. Because a negative times a negative gives you a positive. So when we're looking for the factors of 12, we are looking for the negative factors of 12. So watch this. We're going to break down 12. What are the factors of 12 that must be negative?
Oh, I know what the answer is.
Negative 12 times -1. What are the other factors? -2 times -6. Can we stop?
Yes.
Why?
Because it adds to negative.
What is -2 plus -6?
-8.
There you go.
It is? I thought a positive or negative times negative means.
It does give you a positive, but are we multiplying them when we add them? No. -2 times -6. Karen, -3 times -4. Yes, that does give you positive 12, but when you add those, what do you get? -7.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Okay, hold on. This is not my answer. This is not my answer. Who wants to take a shot at the two binomials? Christian.
Parentheses x minus 6, parentheses x minus 2.
You're so good.
I didn't do
You're
that.
so good.
Is it okay if I did that like this?
Hang on. Why is this one minus signs?
Because all of them are negative.
They were negatives. Okay? If you get a negative factor, it's going to be a minus sign in your binomial. I love it. Yeah. Hey, I've got a very good question. Natalie asked, I wrote mine the other way. Is that okay? Yes. Because, hey, question for you. Is 3 times 4 the same as 4 times 3? They both give you what?
I just want to make sure there was no
12. Okay? So, and actually, Christian just said what property that is. That's the commutative property of multiplication. Flashbacks to middle school. Okay. Guys, hold on. You're going to do B on your own. I want to do C with you, so jump down to C. Jump down to C. Okay, what do I always start with, peeps? A, B, and C. What is A? No. 1. Who said 2?
David said 2, the baby.
What is B?
-12.
-12. And C? 35. Here we go. So, I now do what? The adding and the multiplying. In other words, sum and product. Okay? When they add, they give me what?
-12.
And when they multiply, they give me? 35. Do not say it out loud. Okay. If I can't figure it out, I'm going to write down the factors of what?
35.
35. So let's write 35. What are the factors of 35?
1 times
7 times 5.
1 times 35. And you guys said 7 times 5? Add them together. What's 1 plus 35?
36.
What's 7 plus 5?
12.
Wow.
Ooh, 12. But we said positive 12, right? They both have to be negative.
So whenever you're going to see this, it's always all 4 of them are going to be negative.
Well, Mia, I know that they're both negative, because watch. Is there any way I can take a positive number times a negative number and get a positive number? No. So I know at least one of them has to be negative because we're adding them and getting -12, correct? but they both have to be negative because my C value was positive, okay? So I'm going to get -7 and -5. -7 and -5. Hold on, before you ask me the questions, I need someone to write down the full answer.
X minus
Segi.
X minus 5, or parentheses X minus 5, parentheses X minus 7.
This is almost right.
No way.
Christian? Thank you. The variable was n, peeps. It should be n minus 5 and n minus 7. Yes, really, it matters. Yes.
Will we ever get a problem where B and the C is negative?
Yes. Yes.
So it would be like, the only way that it could be a negative if it was a number plus a positive number, but it still is a negative, right? And then it'd be multiplying like that, right?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
Like if that was instead like -7 plus 5, that would be just 2.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that would make it like
-2. It would be -2.
and then the answer 2 would be
Yes, that bottom one would have to be
That's why
negative,
they-
okay? So, McCarvin asked a great question. Will we ever see it where both the B and the C values are negative? And that is the last example that we're going to see, okay? What I want you guys to do right now is do B and D by yourself. See if you can get it. I think you guys could. And then we're going to compare. Go. All right, the answer to B is W minus 3, W minus 1. The answer to D is X minus 2 times X minus 12. Please have a discussion with your group. Make sure you're all on the same page. Go, 30 seconds. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're moving on. Guys, the next example is when your C value is negative. Now let's think about it. Hey, your C value is when you're multiplying, correct? That's the product value. When would we get a product that's negative? Yeah?
when you multiply negative.
Very good. So one of them is going to have to be positive. One of your answers is going to have to be negative. So let's check it out. What do I do first? A, B, C. What's A? What's B?
4.
What's C? -21. Okay. What do I do next? Sum. They should add to give me. And they should multiply to give me -21. Let's think about this. Yeah?
Can I follow?
What do you think it is?
I think the answer is x plus 7 times x minus 3.
Very good. 7 and -3 are your factors.
Because I told you that's what
Very
I thought
good.
it was.
So, question, guys. Could this 7 be negative and the 3 be positive? Why not?
Negative 4. If it would be negative 4.
It would be a -4 there. Very good. Guys, make sure you are making the right number negative. Because if this 7 was negative, you would get a -4 when you added them. You would still get -21 when you multiplied them though, okay? All right. So just like Natalie said, it is x plus 7 and x minus 3.
Just by looking at it, I know already.
Are there any questions on this example? Okay, next one. B. What do I do?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
What's A?
1,
What's B?
2,
What's C?
15, -15.
-15. What do I do next?
Sum, add,
When they add, I get.
2,
When I multiply, I get.
-15.
Okay? What are the numbers? AJ?
5 and -3.
Very good. 5 times -3 gives me -15. 5 plus -3 gives me +2.
Okay, I see y'all. I see y'all.
What's my final answer?
X
Plus 5, parentheses, X minus 3.
Very good. -3. Okay. Do C and D on your own. Kick butt. Let's go. All right, guys. Letters. Bring it back in. Bring it back in. Who thinks they got C? McCarvin?
So like for the A, B, C,
Just the answer.
I got parentheses y plus 15 parentheses y minus 2 parentheses.
Very good. Give it up for McCarvin. Y plus 15 times y minus 2. Hey, a common mistake is to use 10 and 3 here. But you would have to add 10 and 3 to get 13. Remember, if your C value is negative, one of your answers is going to be positive, one of your answers is going to be negative. Okay? All right, letter D. Natalie?
I got x minus 7 times x plus 6.
Very good. Give it up for Natalie, guys. Give it up for Natalie. All right. Listen up. We are going to finish with the word problem. I need your undivided attention during this word problem, okay? And I also need you to go into it with a growth mindset, okay? So how has the lesson been so far? Easy. So this, I want you guys to remind yourself, this is just another application of this lesson, okay? But it looks a little bit different, but I guarantee you know all the steps. It's just putting them all together, okay? So let's take a little word problem. It says, a farmer plants a rectangular pumpkin patch in the northeast corner of a square plot of land. The area of the pumpkin patch is 600 square meters. What is the area of the square plot of land?
Great.
So, guys, the pumpkin patch is how many square meters?
600.
600. So, I need you to go over to the pumpkin patch. And that 600 represented what about the pumpkin patch?
Area.
The area. So let's fill in that the area of this pumpkin patch, so let's write area, equals 600 meters squared. Now, what is the formula to find the area of a rectangle? How could we find the area of this rectangle? Length times width. So let's write that down. So area equals length times width. Now, we know what the area is. So let's substitute A. Let's replace A with how much was the area? 600. So we're going to write 600 equals length times width. And then let's go ahead and represent the length of this as that top portion. We'll put that L over here. And we'll make this bottom one, that'll be our, or the one on the right, that'll be our width.
So, what time
Yes, Caitlin. It actually doesn't matter. So you could have made the one on the right length and the one on the top width. You just need one for each of them, okay? Hey, listen up. Now, I want you to imagine, zoom in on the L. The L, or the length, is from here to the edge. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
So, what else do we know about that top side of the land? Yes.
Wait, I would say S.
The whole thing is S. Very good.
Is L.
And if you subtracted 40, what would you be left with?
L.
The length. So hold on. You guys agree that I can represent the length as S minus 40, the entire plot of land, minus the 40 that we already know?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's do the same thing for the width. The width would be S, but we're not subtracting 40 anymore.
30.
We're subtracting 30. So now, let's take these two and plug them into our area formula. What did we say length was?
S minus 40.
600 equals S minus 40. And remember, we're multiplying it by the width. What did we say the width was? S minus 30. Ah, this looks familiar, doesn't it? We can FOIL, okay? So, change your color. Let's FOIL. What do I do first? S times S, which is S squared. Then what?
Negative 40 minus 30.
No. Times negative 30, which is?
Positive 120.
Not positive 120.
100
1,200. Then what?
You do the negative 40 times S.
Negative 40 times S, which is?
Negative 40 S.
Negative 40S. And
30 times
S times negative 30, which is negative 30S.
Second minus negative 70.
So from here, this is still equal to what? 600.
But we have a simple form.
Hold on.
Oh,
What does our S side, what form does it need to be in? Standard. So make it into standard form. What would this be in standard form?
this is second minus negative 70 s plus 1,000.
Plus 1,200.
No, wait, that's wrong.
Yes.
It's not wrong.
Wait, but
Wait, but.
wait, but negative 40. Wait, negative 40. 30.
That's two negative. You can't do it. You can't do it.
What's our question, guys? We're good? Okay.
I was having a
Now, in order to solve these kinds of problems, think about, in order to solve these kinds of problems, let's follow the same format we used in the warm-up. Do you guys remember the warm-up?
Yes, sir.
What do I need to do in order to solve something like this? Yes. Very good. Why am I subtracting 600? You need to make one side 0. Very good. So subtract 600. What is 1,200 minus 600? Very good. So let's write it down. It's 0 equals S squared minus 70S plus 600. So now, in order to use the zero product property, guys, remember product means multiplication, right? I need to factor so that there's two things being multiplied here. So now we follow our factoring rules. You need to find your A, your B, and your C and do the same process. What's my A here? 1. What's my B? And what's my C? 600. So I'm going to need two values that when they add together, they give me negative 70.
This is such a hard
But when I multiply them, they give me 600. All right, so I need two numbers that when you add them, they get negative 70. But when you multiply them, they give you 600. Karen? Very good. Negative 60 and negative 10. So watch. The 0 stays the same, but this right-hand side is going to get factored to what?
X minus 16.
S minus 60 and S minus 10. Hold up. Have we seen something like this before? Have we seen something like this before?
Yes.
No. Foiling would end us right back where we started.
You have to like,
The zero
make them
property.
0.
Set each of them equal to 0. This is where we'll pick off tomorrow. Go ahead and turn in your notes. Okay, so now from here, we set each of these equal to 0 because this is the zero product property. So S minus 60 gets set equal to 0, and S minus 10 gets set equal to 0. So now these become two really easy problems to solve. You would just add 60 both sides over here. You'd get S equals 60, and you would add 10 to both sides over here. So you'd get S equals 10. So now, when you get two answers, okay, normally one of them is going to work and one of them won't work. So look back at your diagram. And if we had 60 for the length of this side and 60 for the length of this side, that totally works. Because then that would mean that this would be 60 minus 40, which would be 20 units, making 60 in total. And this would be 30. Now, if they were 10, then you'd be doing 10 minus 40, which would give you negative 30. And you can't have negative 30 as the length of a side. So the only one that makes sense is the 60. So this 10 we're going to cross out. So we know that the sides are each 60. Remember, the area is still length times width. But now we're taking the area of the entire plant, like the entire field, the entire square plot of land. So we're going to take this 60, multiply it by 60. 60 times 60 gives me 3,600 meters squared. So that's the area of the entire plot of land. That's it.